Okay, welcome everyone. Let's begin with the pledge and the four-way pledge.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
I don't see, oh, you got it? All right. Got you covered. Thank you.
Okay, so I think it was Debbie Brownell that was going to do the inspiration, and she asked to be covered because she couldn't get here or something. So I thought I would do some inspirational forest quotes. Because I started out realizing that Finland, the country of Finland, is considered, it's official. It's supposed to be the happiest country in the world. But it also is 75% forested. So I believe those facts are related. Now, I'm going to just give you three different quotes. The first one from Teddy Roosevelt. He said, "A grove of giant redwoods or sequoias should be kept just as we keep great and beautiful cathedrals." I believe that. This one is from Robert Louis Stevenson, you know, the legend of Sleepy Hollow guy. "It is not so much for its beauty that the forest makes a claim upon our hearts, as for that subtle something, that quality of air that emanates from old trees, that so wonderfully changes and renews a weary spirit." And then to end, I don't know who wrote this, but it took my heart. "An autumn forest is such a place that once entered, you never look for the exit."
Thank you, Kelly. Let's see, I believe we have several visitors. So let's see, who would like to introduce their visitors? All right, let's start in the back. Susan. Great. Great. Well, welcome. All right. Welcome. Okay, who else do we have? I will introduce Tim Sweeney, although he has been posted for the first time today. And once he gets his second post, we're not going to introduce you anymore, Tim. Sorry. All right, Bev. Did you? Oh, okay, great. All right, I think that's it. Is that it? Okay, let's do a few announcements. First of all, I just want to congratulate Jody and all those who attended yesterday, the Shoes That Fit at Williams Elementary. It was a rousing success. These little kids were so appreciative. I think the teachers were appreciative as well. And it was just a wonderful event. And it wouldn't have happened without all of Jody's hard work and organization. So thank you, Jody. And now, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Actually, next month, beginning in April, the fees are going to go up a little bit. So just a little heads up. The room fee goes to $4. The drink fee is going to go to $6. You can get a salad, standalone salad, $14, and the full meal will cost $20. So just a heads up. So for some fee increases. Okay. Let's see what else. Any other announcements? Come on up.
This is another foundational award. I introduced this one here a while back. Unfortunately, the recipient wasn't here. She was on Zoom, but at this time, I'd like Lisa Looney to come up and get her Paul Harris +8.
Hi, signups for the end of the month social, 5 o'clock. At the, Taylor's Public or Brewery and Public House. So I will, send this around if you haven't signed up yet. We have about 18 people so far.
Just want to let everyone know, for fundraising for Porch Fest, we're at $37,000 already, and we've got a little bit more to go, but and thank you to the team. Everybody's done such a great job.
Beat you to it. Two announcements. Thank you, Patty. The fundraising team is amazing. The signature gathering, so we can actually put the event on. I need two more volunteers. I'm open for Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 roughly. Jan will help and I'll pass this around. So please sign up for Saturday. And then the second announcement is Evans House, which is the house for low-income senior citizens, kind of a roommate situation. We're trying to bring a couple into one of the bedrooms, and so we're looking for a twin bed. We need one more twin bed. So if anybody has a twin bed they don't need anymore, know if someone doesn't have that, know if someone does? Amanda, maybe? Yes, we're trying to have two twins that can be merged or unmerged, depending on the need in that bedroom. So if anybody knows of a twin, let me know, please.
So this is for April for Breakfast at the Park. And so please consider signing up. We have some wonderful people that have been doing so. And there are 2 pages here that go through April. Okay, thank you.
Just one more thing about the fundraising that's going on. I think last year it was 42,000 that was raised. Is that right? That was, okay, and we're up to 37 already. And remember, this is the money that funds the youth programs, youth services, activities, and things that we do. So it's critical to our budget. It's critical to the things that we do. So thank you. That's extraordinary. Okay, Lisa, would you like to introduce our Student Service Above Self Award?
Okay, today it's my pleasure to announce our March Student Service Above Self Award winner from Gladiola campus of GPHS. And her counselor, Lauren LeGrand, will introduce our student, who is Michaela Gonzalez. Lauren, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome, thank you. So here we have Michaela, and who is one of our leaders in the school. And when she first came to us, she's definitely worked her way up there. And so every day that she comes in with a good attitude, she's become our radio host voice over the morning announcement, gets everybody ready to start classes in the day. She's in leadership, she does yearbook. Really, she's had an amazing journey with us, even with having a lot of instability outside of school, getting her grades back up to passing. I remember when you first came to us and you were wanting to go back to the high school, but then you were like, nah, I love it here, I want to stay.
We love it here.
And when are you graduating?
Probably I think next year, 3rd quarter or 4th quarter, either
Still
or
graduating.
on time.
On time or early is what we're projected at. So really just a big turnaround for her. She's invested in the community, helps kids get involved, and we just love having her. I can't hear. Can you hear me? Or we can't hear you?
Can you tell us about yourself, Michaela?
I am 16. I love to draw. I love music. I was in the marching band for a little bit. That was awesome. I played the trumpet. I like to get involved with things here at school. I love how much freedom we have and how much stuff we get to do, and I like to help people a lot. And I think I love it here. I love all the people here. I love to help people.
Okay, we're not gonna let you off the hook yet. So are there any questions from the audience? Did you hear that? What are you planning on doing after high school?
So after high school, I think I'm gonna go to RCC and do fire science so I can be a firefighter. Like my dad's a wildland firefighter, but I'm gonna do constructional. So burning buildings, car wrecks, all that. And if that plan fails, I want to be a flight attendant so I can go to different states, countries, explore culture and stuff like that.
Okay, anybody else? Are you taking any foreign languages right now?
So my mother and my grandmother are from Germany, and I wasn't learning German, but I do at my grandma's house. Freshman year, I took Spanish, but I have been learning some German. Yes.
Wow, good for you. It's a tough language. It's my
Oh yeah.
understanding. Okay, anybody else? Hey, boy, just curious, how many people in this room have German heritage? If you do, raise your hand. So you can come to us. I doubt any of us speak German, though. I would really be amazed. Oh, wait a minute. All right, we got one. Woo, good job. Okay.
is
Any other questions? Lisa, did you want to say anything else? Yeah, we wish you all the best. And on behalf of the club, we'd like to congratulate you and keep up the
Thank
good
you.
work.
Thank you so much. I really
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready for our program. And we have, let's see, an introducer. Let's see, who's going to come on up? Brian.
I guess I'm the official Williams introducer. By the time we're done with this, you will have probably met everyone out there that owns a business. I had a suggestion yesterday, but I turned it down. Anyway, the program today is Heather Glass, who is the owner of the Williams General Store with her husband, Tom. She grew up in Reading. Well, yeah, she grew up in Reading. She has a bachelor's of science in sociology. And in '94, she and her husband, Tom, moved to Portland, where she had a very successful business career in electronics. That's all Greek to me, but she was very successful. But then somebody called Tom, who doesn't look at Facebook, and said, hey, there's a cool little store for sale in Williams. And evidently they came down, looked and thought, wow, look at this. So their two sons at the time were 8 and like 14 or 16. I don't remember how old Thomas was. But anyway, they voted. The youngest one, Logan, got outvoted. Didn't matter. So they ended up moving to Williams, bought the store, moved to Williams. I think they're still thinking, what the heck have we done? But what they've done is really great. Heather's like a pillar of the community. She's also the chair of the Williams Fire Department Board. And she mentors a high school student, has been doing that for a couple of years. Is that right? It's a girl. And she's really likes doing that and evidently has been very successful at that. And also, if you're in that direction, or even if you're not in that direction, she makes the most incredible sandwiches in the county. I kind of live on the egg salad sandwiches. Most of them have animals in them, but everybody likes them. There's the animal eater back there. Anyway, without further ado, Heather Glass.
You can just put it on the front one if you want.
And then, yeah. So hi, I'm Heather, and he stole a lot of my beginning of my speech today, but who did the shoes for Williams? Thank you. And I can tell you that we saw at least 3 children yesterday that were like, look at my shoes. Yeah. And they were really nice shoes. Like I wanted them. But anyway, yeah, my husband happened to go on Facebook one day and saw this store. He's never on Facebook. And he said, we should look at this store. It's amazing. And he's always wanted to own a store. He grew up in stores with his family. I didn't really have a lot of experience with stores. My grandpa had a convenience store, but he lived in Reno, Nevada, so I wasn't there other than a couple of in the summer, a couple weeks. Anyway, so I don't know, Brian stole all that part. When we arrived in Williams, we didn't realize that the industry was pot. And so we took over the store in July and harvest is in October. I don't know if anybody knows about pot in here, but so the trimmigrants started coming in at the end of August, and we had a lot of dog fights, dog poop, people pooping, drugs, underage drink, like the whole thing. So we had a lot of work to do to clean up the store, and we did that. And now we're here. I don't know, Brian threw me all off. So we have some historical pictures if you want to go to the next slide. So this is the oldest picture that we have of the store, and it's from 1911. The store was founded in 1897, and it was believed to be moved over on logs in 1908 to its current location. And then the next slide has the names of the people that are there. That also has the post office, which has moved around in Williams a few times. It's now currently in the same lot as us. And then the next picture is from, we believe, like 1918. And Tom knows more, he's better at the history. And that's Edna and Fred O'Kelly, and they owned the store. And then the next picture is actually Edna, and that's what the store was originally. You could see the backboard, and I'll show you later the backboard, or it's actually a front board, but. And we believe that she's building a home to be next to the store. And then next picture, I can't remember. Oh yeah, and then this one's later, but notice how there's a log, like, yeah, 50s. So not a lot has changed from this picture, except that they extended the backside, which you can't really see. And then next picture. And then the potbelly stove. We hear about the potbelly stove all the time. Anytime somebody that used to grow up in the store comes in there used to be a potbelly stove right here, and we used to sit around it, and they drank beer. So it's pretty famous. We still have the pipe for it in the ceiling. And then next picture. And then it was believed they put the wagon wheels in the windows as security. So we actually have, they're still there today. And it really goes well with the store, the aesthetics. And then next. And then these are just cool pictures. So in this picture, notice the back has like a little building that kind of comes out. I think in the next picture, oh no, this is the barn. We used to do feed out of the barn. We no longer do feed. It's just the industry turned to pot. There wasn't a lot of feed sales. So, but it's a really cool picture. And then the next picture. Okay, so we did some improvements in the store. This picture was taken in the 80s from when the McInnes, well, Chambers, but LaDonna McInnes is there on the left, and that's her mom, Marge Chambers. And they own the store, and they were the most loved that we've heard about. Like everybody talks about during the Chambers time of the store. So we took that door and took it to Logan's Design and asked them to replicate it. So in the next picture, this is the back door, and it's a replication of what they had in the 80s. So kind of as a tribute, we really enjoy the history of the store and want to, whatever the word is, like, you know, keep it. So that's LaDonna again, the one that was on the left, she's in the middle, and then that's her daughter, Crystal. And me. And then, so the next picture. So we created a whole produce. We really ramped up the produce when we got the store. We got an open face produce cooler. We had this table built because well, produce is my favorite. I want everybody to have access to good food. And that's important to me for our community. You know, we're kind of out there and some people can't come to town. So I want to make sure we have really good food. And then next picture. And then we got this huge cheese case because I love cheese. Anyway, and it took, I don't know how many weeks, a couple weeks. They put it in the back room and we had 6 guys to try to get it into the spot it's in. And it took a lot of rearranging. We got it and it's not moving ever. It's hardwired in and everything. So, okay, next picture, please. This is, we did landscaping in the store. So this is what it looked like before. And then the next picture will show. Yeah, so, and it goes all the way around. You can't really see, but we're really, really happy with the landscaping. And then the next picture, this guy, Tom and I really wanted to have a mascot and like a minor, and we were going to have it sourced from someone, but actually Brian found, we call him One-Eyed Willie, because one of his eyes is missing. For us, and it's just perfect. We love it. And he saved us like $4,000. So yeah. Next picture. Okay, so this is the back. Remember I was telling you to look at the back side of that building that was out. So we took that out. And then next picture, we built that back porch. So it doesn't have the railings on it in this picture, but this one depicted it the best. That took a lot of months, but yeah, we're really happy with it. Now we have 2 exits out of the store. And it's just beautiful, I think. Okay, next picture, please. And then these were the gas pumps that were there when we bought the store, and they had a lot of problems. So we ended up, if you go to the next one, we did new gas pumps. And they're okay. I guess they're better. I don't know. They look prettier. And then the next picture. So this room, we call it the cave room, used to be storage. And we thought, why would we waste this space on storage? We have plenty of storage. So we revamped it. We took all of that out. And next picture. And we made it into so when we first had it, the cleaning products were by the produce. We're like, no, this isn't right. We can't do this. So it kind of brought all of that away from the food in the store. So it's really nice. And then the next picture. And we also, and this isn't a great picture, but we had craters in our parking lot. It was really bad. I don't know if anybody's gone out there. So we put in some drainage with help of the county and paved some of it. We hope to pave more, but as you know, that's expensive, but it's a little better. It's not great, but there's not as big a craters. Now they're just, I don't know, whatever a small crater is called. A divot. And then this is my family. So TJ, who actually was the one that decided for us to move here, he was a senior in high school at the time. And we didn't want to, or he was going into a senior year, I should say. And we didn't want to take him out of school if he wasn't up for it. And he was all for it. So, and then that's his girlfriend, Grace. They actually left us and moved to the East Coast in October. And then my son, Logan, is 17 and he goes to Hidden Valley. And that's the front of the store. You can see the wagon wheels. Okay, next picture. Oh, everybody knows this guy, right? So these two guys would come in every morning and drink coffee. And we had a little movie section. We don't have that anymore. And they think they're funny, but we usually have a bench where Mo's sitting, but I think we were taking donations at the time for something. So COVID hit luckily, and we took the bench out, and now they don't get to sit there anymore. Now they come here. All right, next picture, please. And then we had 125th celebration. We had a food truck and we invited everybody. It was really fun. It was cool to be able to celebrate 125 years of the store. And then next. That's just a cute picture. That's my son and his girlfriend. That's one of our really good employees. Her name's Aubrey. She's still with us. We got to watch her turn 18 just last month or this month. And then next picture. And there's just more of the party. So we kind of like holidays a little bit. My husband's a nerd. He decorates like crazy. Sorry. So if you go to the next picture, I think we'll get into, oh no, wait, before we go to that. So no, go back. So these are the living owners that we were able to contact and come to the party. So Norm Witham is on the left. And then, so it goes in order, right? So he had it in the 70s. And then the Chambers, which is LaDonna, she's representing her dad, John Chambers. And then Rob Wagner, and then Kathy Hazelton, who we bought it from, and then there's us. So that was a cool capture that we were able to get. Yeah. Okay, next picture. And then, so this is where we celebrate, right? So this is our 4th of July. The parade starts at the country store and comes down to our store. And it's just showing like the community coming together. And I think there's another one of those, maybe. Oh no, this is where my husband's decorating skills comes in. So he goes all out for all of the holidays. So this is some Halloween, and then we have probably more Halloween. We decorate the whole store. We dress up. All the employees dress up for the most part. Yeah. It's really fun. Oh, and then Santa, like who doesn't love Santa, right? I guess unless you're, anyway, so Santa comes and visits the store every year, and he gives out gifts and pictures up to 12 years old. And we also adopt families from the elementary school, Williams Elementary School, for kids that don't necessarily won't get presents. So that's something really cool we like to do for the family. I mean, for the families of Williams. And then Tom really likes this picture. I mean, it's pretty cool. But anyway, more Santa. Santa's my dad. Shh. And he's super good at it. Oh, can you not hear me? My mom is Mrs. Claus, which is not pictured, but she's pretty amazing too, because somebody's got to keep Santa in line for real. Yeah. And then more decorations that we do of the store. And then that's the end. But yeah, so I forgot to tell you all that my granddaddy was in Rotary for a lot of years, so I'm honored to be here. I actually have a Paul Harris pin. Yeah, so I was gonna say that in the beginning, but I forgot. That's it. Does anybody have any questions? It's funny that you say that. So that was one of my really big concerns. I didn't even know about the pot, right? So I'm just thinking we're coming from a very diverse, big school into a small school, not so diverse. I actually talked to my doctor about it because she was pretty cool. But she said, don't worry about it. It's fine. And I don't know. I think my oldest kind of was really gung-ho and went through a hard time for a minute, but now I think he's great. And my youngest didn't really know any better, so. Cause he was 8. So now he has a bunch of friends and yeah. Yeah, my oldest kind of struggled, I think, because he was a city boy coming into a country school. But he adapted. He's great. He moved away. He left me.
So, the business model, a small town or small store in the middle of a small town, are you able to stock enough products that the people need and want, and then how do you have a sense of how you're able to sell things and supplement what people buy through Amazon, that kind of, how's that dynamic work for you all out there?
So a lot of people don't have Amazon out there. We try to have everything. And not only do we try to have everything, we try to have it in organic and then a non-organic. I mean, I think we do pretty well. We definitely grew. It's a little slower now just because after the COVID relief money stopped. But I think, I don't know if I'm answering that.
I don't know what the question really is either.
We have a lot of product. And we try to have it. And if you came in and said, hey, I want peanut butter, whatever, we would try to get it for you. Sometimes we can't.
Yeah, mostly food stuff, but not a lot of.
A lot of food. It's mostly a grocery store, yes. And we also try to be very competitive as much as we can in a small town. So there's some things you just aren't competitive with, like milk. But we will go toe to toe with like Albertsons or Fred Meyer on a lot of items. I even have people come in like, you're cheaper than Fred Meyer. I'm like, that's right. Just why are you going to Fred Meyer? Hi. COVID was good and bad for our business. So it kept people home. We actually did delivery service during that time. People were getting extra food stamps. So it was really good in that way. It was difficult. We were the only store in town that required to wear a mask. And that was really difficult. Thank you. It was really difficult. But we have an elderly community and we just felt that was right to try to protect them if we could. I mean, that's what we were being told. And so it was hard. People were not nice during COVID, but we did do well with sales. So, you know, hi. Yeah, I don't know your people. Greg.
The people who are involved in growing marijuana, what changes have you seen in terms of their needs from your business?
So when we got there, it was a lot of immigrants in and out, a lot of transient folks that weren't in, yeah. And so we had a lot, I think we did a lot of those kind of sales, like onesie, twosie sales. Now more people come in and buy actual groceries, like they leave with a grocery bag. Whereas before it was like a candy bar and a burrito or whatever. So we don't see the immigrants really much. I don't think I saw many at all this year. Did you? Oh, sorry. It's people that come in to trim your weed for you. So they're not from here. They come from all over, like France. I mean, all over the place. And we were in a magazine, I guess, if Williams was. And so all these people from all over came to try to get source work. And they would hold signs up, you know, with scissors and we didn't allow that at the store once we took over. So, but that doesn't happen much anymore. That's a great question. I do not know the answer.
Are there fewer immigrants now?
Oh yeah, I don't know that there are many at all anymore. Yeah, because when it was legalized, it kind of weeded out a lot of the need for those people. And you had to be OLCC licensed and then the market was flooded. I mean, it's just a whole, who would have known I would know this much about pot? I don't know.
Was it because they took over your store?
Oh, yeah, so, no, well, yeah, there was some camping that my husband had to shoo. He kind of got a bad reputation because he was the heavy of the store and I was the nice one. But yeah, it was awful. Like people would sit in a circle in front of the front door and meditate and smoke pot. I don't even know. And they would just literally like go like this so that you could get into the store. And they'd have backpacks. I mean, it was crazy. We had no idea, but we survived. They have a place in Grants Pass. They live in Redding, California, but they did get a place here. I think so they didn't have to stay with us. So they have a place on the river that they come like once a month. Yeah, which is nice. We like it a lot. I wish they were here right now. Well, it's not really, well, I guess there's some diversity, right? Because there's a lot of farming that happens there. So you've got a lot of people that might have guns on their hips that come in the store. And then there's a lot of white men with long dreads. So you've got from like all the one spectrum to the other. So when I hire people, I always say we don't judge anyone because you don't know who's coming in here. But there's not a lot of diverse. There's a little bit of Hispanic and Native American, but that's about it. Yeah, not a lot of diversity. Other than cultural diversity. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Anyone else?
Talk a little about your son. Was it hard for you and your husband to adapt from, Clinton's a big city and you're in pretty rural community?
No, I don't think so. It wasn't for me. I mean, I miss weekends and vacations, but other than that, no, not really. I'm pretty easily adaptable. I don't think about it too much. So I think it was hardest probably on our children, but they're great. They're doing fine. Yeah. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you everybody so much.
Thank you, Heather. And you might want to know that a lot of people in this club are readers, and people who like to read usually have good vocabularies. And I think we learned a new word today. Primmigrants.
And it has a lot of history.
Oh, cool. All right, very good. Thank you. WilliamsGeneralStore.com. Okay, and now it's time for Valerie, our Sergeantess at Arms.
So this is my first sergeant of arms. So you're always a little nervous, but what a wonderful presentation. I actually lived in Williams from 1976 through 1983. So it is warm and dear in my heart. My two oldest children were born out there in hippie land, which I kind of called it then. We bought property and we started with a chainsaw and built parts of it. And then as soon as we got electricity, we did the rest with the skill saw. And I was the one who built the outhouse that I went through 2 pregnancies with, by the way. So yeah, very interesting time in my life. got a little house on the prairie. I wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, which is why I live in Grants Pass now. Anyway, so here's starting off, and thank you. Today is National Forest Day. I don't know if you mentioned that, but I saw it on my phone this morning. So Kelly, you just knew right where to go. And I started off, I was going to do a presentation because of course this is spring, the equinox is this month. And that's just such a, globally interesting time of year. And so I thought I have a few facts, but my brain kind of works in a funny way. As a teacher, I kind of start going down a rabbit hole, and then I go down a little further, and then I go a little further, and I find out all this interesting information. So I just pack my head with all this information. So who knows what is going to end up coming out today? But that's kind of how I operate. That's how I used to operate as a teacher as well. So I'm just going to start off. 1107, March 19th was the actual official lined up equinox this year. It does vary. It can go anywhere from the 19th to the 21st. It is a time for celebrations and new beginnings. We know I looked on and there were like 12 different celebrations all around the world, which I could just go on and on about. But some of the ones most, of course, we always know the Easter eggs, birth through the rebirth into Christ. That's a very common one. But in other areas like Central Asian, which is Persia, they have a full month of celebration, and it's like their new year. I mean, it's like Christmas and everything into a month where they just party all month. So I thought that was interesting. That actually started in Persia. I'm not quite sure they do it anymore in Iran, knowing the history, but that was what they used to do. In Thailand, they have a winter festival. It kicks off and into their new year. So their new year starts after the equinox. So I thought that was interesting. In India, Holi, which is the color festival, actually is done right after spring, the spring colors. So that is part of their culture, is to have that as a spring celebration. Stonehenge, of course, in England, that's a big one, and people travel from all over the world to be over there to line up and do their and whatever they do, bringing in the new year. In Japan, they have what's called Shunbana Ho. I'm sure I slaughtered it. It's a national holiday, much like Day of the Dead. Their workers and their children all take the day off from school, and they go out to grave sites and clean up the grave sites and honor the people who passed in the last year, which is exactly what the Day of the Dead is in Mexico. So I thought that was just interesting that that's a Japanese national holiday, and that is what they celebrate in the spring. In Cambodia, there's this temple that's 1,000 years old called Angkor Wat, and it was built around the equinox. So you can stand in one particular place that it was built to where you are just right in, the equinox energy. And so it was just fascinating to me, all of these different festivals they have. And in China, it has a similar to Japan, a tomb sweeping day, because they honor the changing of the seasons. But the thing that fascinated me as I went down and learned about that is then I went down the rabbit hole of, well, wait a minute. Spring is not happening on the other side or on the bottom of the earth. So why is everything in our world so centered on spring and the equinox? It just seemed like everywhere they were celebrating spring. And I know it's autumn down south. So I found some little information that you know that 88% of humanity lives in the Northern Hemisphere, which means that only 10% of the population of the world is in the Southern Hemisphere. And this was an interesting one to me because, of course, I always think that we're so important, but 82% of the world's population lives in the Eastern Hemisphere, which means we're only 18% in the Western part of the world. So that kind of fascinated me too, to me too. So that was fascinating. And so then this brought me back to my days of teaching and facts and science, which I absolutely love. And then I remembered that one of my very favorite lessons ever teach to kids, because it was just an aha moment, was to understand the tilt of the earth, which is why we have seasons. And so I always had it the equinox time where we'd turn off all the lights and I'd get a great big light to shine, and then I'd have a couple students walk around with the earth, and another person would run around spinning it the whole time, and it would be just like aha, because I'd have them stop and we talk about, well, look at that, right now or tilt it away from the sun. And tilt is just the same as it circles around, so they could visually see when we were tilted away from the sun and we were tilted toward the sun. And then you'd also spin, and they'd understand the difference between a revolution and a rotation, and that the day and night was going on at the same time that we were spinning around here. And this was all happening at over 1,000 miles per hour. So, then you can get into relativity and motion. And I mean, you could just go crazy, which of course is how my brain works, unfortunately. So that was just, like I said, I loved that. And then I honestly, as I went through in my own spirituality and faith movement, that's also what brought me to have such a strong faith, is because the more I realized that the miracle that we happen to be at a 23.5 degree, which does change every 41,000 years, just to let you know, we're wobbling a little bit. But as we spin around, the fact that that tilt happened is amazing. That tilt, which has allowed us to live and life to be, and the water cycle to be what it is, there would be nothing that we have if we didn't have that tilt. So where did that tilt come from? Down that rabbit hole I went. And there's a theory that along billions of years ago, we got hit by some sort of thing out in space, which knocked us into that wobble, and that little piece that broke off became the moon. And that moon kind of helped us stabilize so that we stay at that. It does, like I said, go between 23, I think goes between 24 and 21 degrees. So we're wobbling a little bit every 41,000 years. But you just realize what a miracle. What a miracle. All these things had to happen for what we have today. And then I would always end the conversation with the students, which is like, what would the world be like if we didn't have a tilt? So that's a whole nother conversation that gets your mind going. And then I went down that rabbit hole. And of course, somebody's out there thinking the same way I'm thinking. And we would have ice at the top of the world, ice at the bottom of the world. And ultimately, we would totally freeze and be covered with ice. So, that's speculation, of course, and I hope we never have to find out. But anyway, so there, all of that, all because I knew I was going to be doing something on the equinox. I just went right down there, and I know why I became a teacher all those years. It was never, I always told my kids, and I have kind of a strange sense of humor, but one of the things I always told my kids is, I bet you thought I went into teaching because I love kids. No. I went into teaching because I love learning. And that's what it's all about, is being a lifelong learner. And so if I can get you excited about learning something, and you can see what fun it is to learn, that if as soon as you can read and as soon as you can think, you go, girl or boy, you go. So anyway, that's just a little piece of myself and why I became a teacher and why I will probably always be a teacher. I've constantly talked at city council. If anybody's going to explain something, it's going to be that ex-teacher. So yes, indeed, I will correct misinformation as much as I can. Anyway, so there we go. Spring equinox, National Forest Day. My heart is in Williams always. I was out there yesterday for the event shoes, and I had not been out there in years. So I will be out there again. I was quite amazed. It was wonderful going down that. So anyway, with that, I'm going to kick off the Happy Bucks by saying I'm going to put 10 Happy Bucks because of the Williams and the shoes that fit. It was such a wonderful event yesterday, and a chance to get out in Williams and then to learn a little bit more about the history. So thank you. So I'm going to start off and say, okay, guys, I want to hear some more Happy Bucks. I'm looking for the hands.
Well, I've got a happy and a sad buck. My happy buck is because of the shoes that fit and the phenomenal amount of help we had there yesterday. We were able to get there, get the cars unpacked, get the shoes in order, get the kids ready to come in. And we went through 75 kids because there were 13 that didn't show up to school yesterday. We went through 75 kids and got cleaned up and was out of there in about an hour and a half from the time we got the boxes unloaded. So it was phenomenal. So I want to thank you all for that. That was really good. So that, needless to say, was my happy buck. And my sad buck, I will try to do without crying. My daughter moved to Georgia. So Heather, I know what you're feeling. For those of you that know she's my heart, so it's gonna be tough, but I know she'll do great.
And you'll get to visit. See, that's how I look at it. I have two children in Texas, and it's a joy to go back, and they come back home too. So they do come back to visit.
I have a happy buck for my son who moved to Boston from here and became a teacher. And he just got his first teaching job this week.
Okay.
Okay, I have 5 happy bucks because she and I taught together. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing more important than teaching kids to plug in. Yeah, yeah. So thank you. But you forgot to mention gravity.
Oh, well, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. Too many rabbit holes.
Yeah, about the equinox, just one more that was missed among the first people to use it were the Egyptians with aligning the sun to build the pyramids. So that's many, many years. Anyway, I have a few happy bucks. I'm actually going to see my son in Pennsylvania tomorrow, very early in the morning, and the grandson. And that son moved to Pennsylvania with us when he was 16 in senior school, in senior class. And he made friends, neighbors, girl, who taught him how to tip cows. Really, yeah. And now he's a trauma surgeon helping those farmers when they get hurt. Pardon? No, helping them when they get hurt. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So kids do survive, and depends who they meet very quickly. And he's actually back in Pennsylvania, not far from where he was tipping cows. Yeah, so that's my happy bucks, and of course for the Williams store. And what else? Yeah, 5 happy bucks. Thank you.
And I'm also a survivor. I moved my senior year in high school. I grew up in Portland the same way, and I moved to Butte, Montana in August for my senior year. But at the time, I mean, you're like a kid, your family is going, you're going to go too. It was a great move. I made some wonderful friends. And I think in a lot of ways, I moved around a lot. It helped me be an outgoing person because you have to learn to be outgoing when you are new to an area. So.
I have 5 happy bucks. The Williams school experience was wonderful. Just like last year, I think we did Cave Junction, or I don't know what year that was. It was wonderful. The kids, watching the adults and how thrilled they were was one of the best things. And the Interact kids, I think they practically cried. So they they were so cute at helping the other kids. I agree. There's a lot of joy in that room yesterday.
I have 5 happy bucks for 5 things that I'm happy about. I'm real happy about the presentation you did today. It was delightful. I am really happy for the project, the shoe project yesterday. There was no way I could get out of the house and be in town early enough to do it. I really miss being able to do it, but I'm so happy there were so many people and the kids got their shoes. I'm really happy we have all the teachers in this club that we do, because it sure makes our meetings interesting. And I also need to give, I guess I have 2 bucks left. It's a salute to Bela. He has been to all of our meetings. It is tax season. Nobody knows tax season like me. Thank you, Bela. Well, it's a way to keep you sane, and it's a way to keep you happy, because there's so many reasons to have happy bucks when you're in this club. So thank you.
On the table. Okay, all right. Heading back over this way. Ooh, I'm going to take the roundabout way here.
Okay. Well, I want to know if college teachers can do a happy buck. Okay. Because that was one of my greatest things was when the kiddos, I mean, I call them kiddos, would go, oh, I get how to do that printmaking. Okay, you do it this way and then you do it anyway.
That's what it's all about, those aha moments when it's just like they go, oh, I get it. And it usually is when they're actually doing it, when you're not just standing up there talking.
I also want to throw in a few happy bucks. We had some pretty good help from the Rotary kids yesterday. We had four of them there and they did a heck of a job for us.
Okay, back over here. Oh, got somebody else over here. Yeah, you're last.
Okay, you got me thinking. I'm a teacher. And I started with my samurai sprouts at our Growing Together a year ago. And then in January, I just started what I call ageless Aikido. So on Friday, for example, I've got a baby crawling, and then I've got an 81-year-old grandpa, and we're all on the mat moving together.
Ageless. I like that. Learning. It's all about learning together.
I just want to give a shout out to Lisa to thank her for the work she does with the Student Above Self Awards. I mean, that's wonderful. And I think you've done 5 and we got 2 to go, I believe. Is that correct? And it's just so nice to meet these kids and hear what they're up to and frankly, be able to give them something. It's really nice. So good work, Lisa. It's wonderful.
Let's second that. And did I see your hand too?
Yes. So I got a couple happy bucks, 3 specific happy bucks, because I got a question. How many Rotarians does it take when helping kids put their feet in the shoe to discover there's tissue paper in there? And then kids' feet don't fit. Took 3 Rotarians to figure that there's tissue paper in there. And then the kids don't fit. And then there's something going on with the elementary school teachers and our maturity level. And there's something about why it works so well here for us. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, glad you're here.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. Judy, I get you going here.
I have some sad bucks and some happy bucks, and I've never done sad bucks before. I'm kind of reluctant to do it because this is really sad, which is why I'm saving for the happy bucks. But I think in order to feel the ecstasy, you have to feel the agony. And I just wanted to share that the little 5-year-old that passed away over the weekend was my next door neighbor's granddaughter, the 4th grandchild. And they're 12, 10, 8, and the 5-year-old. And I've seen her every day for the past however many years because grandma and grandpa take care of them after school. And it was just so painful. And I asked Doug, sorry, it's hard, if our yard art committee would maybe commission a piece that I could gift to them to put in their yard that's not so whimsical, but maybe a white flower or something that represents her innocence. That was rough. Okay, just a second. And my happy bucks are to thank you for the program today. My favorite thing is small business, and I really am one of those believers that that's what, sort of the country's founded on. And thank you for taking that on. I loved the presentation. I don't know your store, but I did know the Murphy store back when it was around because I went to Lincoln Savage Junior High. And yeah, I just really appreciate it. It looks like a fun place, and I'm going to come out and buy something. I don't know what. So thanks, everybody.
Okay. Alrighty, so did all the cards get bought up? They did, okay. Oh, that's great. It's because I offered to buy ones. Okay, so up on top here. And let's see, all the way back here and have our special guest from Williams. This is fun. This is fun here. Got some gambling going on here where this just shows what a fun group we are. I'm gonna have you, Heather, choose a card, any card, any card. It is the 3 of spades. So everybody take a look. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. So now he won. Oh. And so he won because everybody puts the dollars. Yeah. Well, no, we just get the happy bucks. He gets, when we came in cards, the money over there, they can money in the baskets. There we go. The pot. Okay, and with that, I think we're pretty well on schedule. I'll let you do your thing here.
Thank you. We're about to wrap it up. Yeah, thanks again for everyone who came. Thanks for the program. Valerie, thank you for that primer on the equinox. And I have a quotation that just happened to kind of correlate to what you talked about this morning or earlier. This is from Sitting Bull, and I'll probably mess up his name, but he was a Papa Lakota. Anyway, what he said is Sitting Bull. He said, "Behold, my friends, the spring has come. The earth has gladly received the embraces of the sun, and we shall soon see the results of their love." Thanks, everybody.